Yeah.
Okay, do me a favor when I.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to There's a Place, the show that explores the connection between personality and mind. I am your host, Adam Papagan, and we're very happy to be here tonight. We have a very exciting show. It's not usual that the guest supplies me with questions, but she's done that tonight. So I'm not even sure what's going to be asked. But before we get into that, I just kind of want to talk about my day, what's been going on in the world. I went to a Chinese buffet today. That is just such great fun. I think the Pan-Asian buffet. They all have basically the same stuff, all stuff that's easy to make, all stuff that's fun to eat, and they're all a little bit different. But when you go through and you look at, like, if you were to grade everything, like the quality of the sushi, whether they have pizza or not, if the drink is free or if it costs extra. Dessert, is it soft serve or do they have other things? The one I went to today had green tea ice cream, for example. If you rate it, 1 out of 5, 1 being awful, 5 being great. You know how a scale works, 1 to 5. But if you were to do it, every buffet would average out to 3. And that's what's so great about it is it just goes to show you that nothing's perfect in life. You're never gonna get that exact thing that's a 5. But you know what? 3's not bad, and looking around for the 3s and all of that is what life is all about. They had really good prime rib, actually. That's one of the categories, as we add on for variety. I went to an Asian buffet in North Carolina once called Asiana that used to be a supermarket. And so it was as big as a supermarket, and they had frog legs. That was really exciting. And the other thing that happened this week was the Oscars, which is, we need to put a stop to this practice, this thing. It's so self-congratulatory. I didn't see any of the movies. The only movies I even saw were the ones that were in the technical categories, like Guardians of the Galaxy, Planet of the Apes. Those are movies. Those are good movies. But just like The Whistler, what was 12 Years a Slave? I don't even know what was nominated. But it's so self-congratulatory. And then all these celebrities use it as a chance to talk about like their warped worldview. And whether it brings attention to an issue or not, why do they get this platform? They already are celebrities. They already have unfair exposure. But show business is weird. I mean, that's how it is. The aspect of show business I like the best is rock and roll. Anybody who knows me knows that I love rock. It's the best. Songs about teardrops, songs about whether someone is your baby or not, songs about moving around. And even though we're coming up on the 60th anniversary of rock and roll, I still think a lot of those principles and that spirit is still alive today. And I feel a special kinship with anyone who is into rock and roll, which brings me to my guest tonight. My guest tonight is a woman who's been on the LA music scene for, she told me not to ask her about her age, so I won't tell you how long she's been on the scene, but she's infamous, she knows everyone, she's got some great stories, and I'm always curious to learn about Karen Centerfold. So without further ado, my guest tonight on There's a Place, please welcome Karen Centerfold. I forgot the questions. Thanks. Hey, Karen.
Hey, I like your marijuana background,
This is the mall.
I know, isn't it nice?
The marijuana mall.
I know, it's great. It's great, Adam.
So I have to stick to these questions, I'm told.
Yes, you do.
Because I have a lot of questions for you.
Okay, well, let's start with those questions.
We'll start with these, okay.
And then we'll start with yours.
All right. Well,
because
Karen,
that's where it's at,
Well, Karen, your name is Karen Centerfold.
Yes.
What is it like doing a centerfold? What goes into a centerfold?
What goes into a centerfold is I would go up to a studio, kind of like this, and the guy just told me to be very quiet, because...
Kind of like this?
Well, yeah, but more red and more car full of decadent furniture and things like that. And I would have to wear black nylons and a garter belt and lay across the floor and get photographed. And the guy would ask me to, have a good time with him. So I'd have a good time with him,
And that's what, how many centerfolds have you done?
I've done 7, and the first one I ever did was up in Oakland, and it's called Miss Ass. And that was all right. I did 3 in LA and 1 in New York, and I also did
5.
Another one in San Francisco.
6.
And I also did one in New York. I forgot about that.
You said that one already, but you've done it a few times.
Yeah, and it was fun.
It was
doing it.
Fun.
And it was also a hassle because they have to, get the right shots of me and so on. And I'd be up for another one, actually.
Did you know that it was going to be a centerfold when it started, or did you think it was just a photo shoot?
I knew it was going to be a centerfold because guys like to buy stuff on me. And it's fun.
Why is the centerfold better than just the regular page?
Because the guy is picking up something he spent some money on during lunch, and he's looking forward to, it makes his whole day.
The centerfold does?
Yeah, and
the
I
act
got...
of, pulling it out.
Right, I got my name in a big liquor store on Sunset Boulevard. There was a big promotion, and all these truckers pulled up, and I autographed all these centerfolds, and then a ton of them did till the police came out, and so I kept autographing them, and I'd also done the LA Star, which was more than just a centerfold. It was very provocative, and all of a sudden these truckers are saying centerfold, centerfold, centerfold like that, and so I autographed him, and I made some friends, it was fun.
Do you remember the first centerfold you saw? Not that you were in, but just
Yeah, I hated it. It was embarrassing. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but by the time I did this French one, I did a good job on it, all the right colors and everything, and it came out good.
This is the first one. This was in Oakland. What was it like?
No. That one was in L.A. In Oakland, I did Miss Ass 2 times.
2 times. What was Oakland and San Francisco like at the time of Miss Ass?
At that time, it was really, really busy. I was a dancer on Broadway in North Beach. I worked for the Italians, on Broadway in North Beach. I asked Carol Doda, that used to headline the Condor. I asked her, hey, you want me to work at the Condor? She said, they need somebody at the Roaring Twenties right now. So I'm going to get you a job there, and she'd get me these other jobs, other places. And I worked for Sam Conti, her manager, and it was incredible. It was a lot of energy that I've always had, and it was fun, but I worked at Naked City on Broadway. I was the manager and also the door person sometimes, and I got guys following me home, trying to break into my apartments I had in San Francisco. So I left San Francisco for LA, long time ago.
Did you ever see anything crazy working at these strip clubs?
I saw a lot of crazy things. And these strip clubs, including Carol Doda and me, were arrested because these topless, bottomless places were showing exotic films of us, where we were being more than just exotic, and so because of that, the police busted us. So the Chinese hired me to wrap fortune cookies, and so I had to make a living that way to pay the rent. And then a week later, the vice mellowed out, And San Francisco is a hip place to grow up in. It's like a border town, like Paris, like London, and it attracts all of these, hip, sophisticated people that start up big things. Like Haight-Ashbury was developed in San Francisco, and in Paris there's a arts district. Or you are going to get pregnant and have quadruplets. I would say something stupid like that. So the Chinese would never go for it. The Chinese are actually hardworking, and they wouldn't put something like that in their fortune cookies.
There was more serious fortunes.
Oh, totally. It was totally more serious.
Okay, this next question, I'll read it, but I kind of take some umbrage with your classification of yourself.
Okay, what is it?
What made you such a political icon in America?
What made me such a political icon?
Karen.
What made me such a political icon in America was that
You were like Robert Kennedy?
Oh no, honey. Not even like Ethel Kennedy.
Cesar Chavez?
Like Ethel Kennedy.
Rosenberg. You're like Ethel Rosenberg.
Like Ethel Kennedy in dancing naked on Broadway in San Francisco. No, I stood up against injustices. I would drive down the street. I would see cops beating up a black guy. I would see them beating up a white guy for no reason. I would see mostly Mexican kids starving all over the streets in Oakland and San Francisco. So I stood up and I did things about that. And I turned the young people against the ignorant, hypocritical Republicans. And the ignorant, hypocritical Republicans had me arrested because they said, hey, you know what? You're getting too big for your own bra strap. And they got uptight at me. And in San Francisco, everybody got busted that is standing up for civil rights. And I stood up for civil rights, and I still do. And we have come a long way since those times, and it's all paved out into gold. If you look around you, life is a lot better than what it was.
You think things are better? You don't think with all the technology and the
I think we need to improve on economy, because our dear George Bush stole from us. He stole $18 billion out of LA. And
what do you mean?
I mean that he needed it to, what he said was he needed it to fight terrorism. What I say is he's full of crap. He took it to make the Republican Party stronger than what it is, because he didn't want that president we have in the White House now, and I got him in there, I knew that Barack Obama would win, okay? Here's how I knew. Because when I was growing up in Oakland, where you had the beatniks in the 50s, and the hippies in the 60s, and the punk rock people in the 70s, and the grunge rock people in the 80s, I knew that
tech people in the 2000s?
Right. I knew that Barack Obama would win, because I was asking people, what are Hillary Clinton's chances of winning in the election in 2008 and 2007? And these black brothers, friends of mine in Oakland, where I grew up, said, well, I don't know about Hillary Clinton, but Barack Obama stands a damn good chance, and I knew he'd win. That's how I knew. And when I went on CBS News in 2000 and at the end of 2006 or early 2007, I said he was going to win, and he was a senator from Chicago, and I said we're going to have for the first time a left-wing black president. Some people laughed at me, but it was mostly Jewish people that knew, and police knew, and politicians knew Barack Obama would win. And the police got mad at me.
They got mad at you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why don't the police like Barack Obama?
Because he represents civil things being made, and he represents taking us out of Iraq, which he did, and he represents signing the health reform bill, and he represents equality on the workforce.
The police are against this?
Yeah, a lot of them are.
sad.
Most police are. Most police in LA are very conservative, and they don't get hired unless they are conservative, and unless they're going to take a nightstick to your head for a very small reason.
How many times have you been arrested by the police?
Oh, I don't know. Oh,
Lots?
I got arrested in Washington for calling George Bush a child pornographer for taking our troops to Iraq and getting them killed, our young boys and girls. I called him a child pornographer, and actually the people in Washington liked that about me. But I've been arrested a few times, Adam.
And you've always escaped unscathed. So Karen, if you look here on the monitor and then all around us here, this is a background. Do you know where this is, this room here?
Yes, I do.
You do know where it is.
This room represents purgatory.
You know, it kind of does. This is actually Vincent Minnelli's mansion.
Oh, it does. Vincent Minnelli, Liza Minnelli's father.
The director.
Director.
Or something. It's on Sunset across from the Beverly Hills Hotel. And
Yes.
it's abandoned. And there's like some furniture in there. You can see the couch back there.
I see.
Yeah. Do you have any experience in Beverly Hills? That's such a nice place.
I certainly do. I have very big experience there. I've done quite a few performances in the Beverly Hills Hotel.
I've never been there. No, I was there once during the LA riots. When the LA riots happened,
And
a
what
lot
were
of people went to the Beverly Hills
goodness, yeah.
Hotel. So I was there. That was the only time.
Oh, really? Yes, I did quite a few performances in the Beverly Hills Hotel.
The Polo
singing.
Lounge?
Yes, the Polo Lounge. Singing.
What'd you sing?
All these different show business songs, stupid songs that they wanted me to sing, like a Doris Day song and like a Dusty Springfield song, like I got asked to do, and it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun going there, and I've got some friends in Beverly Hills, like I used to live there.
Well, it's a far cry from this.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It's
like.
been. Do you think that's it's kind of a shame? Don't you think?
Oh, not at all. I mean, you could.
You like the
Vincent Minnelli.
graffiti and the?
It looks pretty cool, yeah.
You think it's got some edge now?
I think
Also,
it does now.
If it never got abandoned, I never would have gotten to go inside of a mansion like that.
Oh, exactly,
that way.
Adam. Right.
All right, on to your next question. You've been on KXLU radio, KLOS, doing voiceovers, advertising, and what about K-Rock radio?
K-Rock radio is not a good scene. K-Rock radio is not a good
You don't
thing.
like Stryker?
Oh, he's
don't
he's
like
okay. He's
Jed the
okay.
Fish?
He's okay. But you
Pat
see,
Corbett?
I don't know who that is. But
Tammy Heidi?
Oh, she's cool. I've met her. Yeah. Who isn't cool is Rodney Bingham-Heimer.
Bean? Oh, he's old school.
Oh, he's a creep, and he is prejudiced.
Really? A guy with a hairstyle like that is a creep. That's
Oh, he's
surprising.
prejudiced. Yeah, he kicked out Dusty Street because she wanted to flirt with girls on K-Rock radio. So they got her fired. So he's prejudiced against gay people, and he's prejudiced against black people. I know that because he said on K-Rock radio one time, this is so many years ago, he said, ha 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 ha, I don't do black music here. And he's playing some kind of black music, and he's saying, ha 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 ha, we just don't do black music here. And it got black musicians infuriated. So, I mean, Rodney Bingham-Heimer is such a bummer, and he will never do an interview because he's going to be questioned about his bigotry. Poor man. I did the dirtiest 5-minute show with Poor Man at KDOC that he had ever done in his life, and it made him very happy. It made me really happy. But later on, Poor Man didn't like me because he felt I was too left-wing, and I wasn't conservative enough, and he's only into conservative people, conservative babes, and Poor Man became a victim of the right-wing hypocritical culture, and they made him so conservative that when he came to LA and he worked or whatever he did, he would, if he didn't get his way all the time, he would stomp his feet and pound his hand, and it really made him uptight if he didn't get his way all the time. So people didn't like that. And so he got tired of LA and he went to New York.
But he is in New York, yeah.
Right.
I tried to get him on the Del Talk show. And
right. And so you and I have a friend. His name is Vince of the Mormons. And Vince and me talked about that. And that's what happened to Poor Man. So K-Rock Radio is not the station today. The station today is KXLU and KLOS. And those are the main stations that the best music people really listen to.
Why do you say they're the best?
I say they're the best because they play some of the best hits and have some of the nicest people running them, and they welcome all kinds of artists, pretty much.
That's good reasons. You were talking about Rodney Bingenheimer,
yeah.
Which of course made me think of Kim Fowley.
Kim Fowley was a friend of mine.
I was very emotional when he passed away. As someone who was behind the scenes of the music industry a little bit, he was behind the scenes before any of us. Just pulling the strings.
I know. Kim Fowley was a friend of mine. Kim Fowley, he would have me open up the Knitting Factory, start out with a song when I was in the Felonious Band, and then there would be all these other bands or all these other acts, and then he'd have me close the Knitting Factory because he couldn't get rid of everybody that came in off the street, and
so you go up there and everyone clears.
Right. And so I organized it. And he'll really be missed. I met Kim Fowley originally at a civil rights demonstration on Hollywood and Vine, and he was all dressed up in black. And
always in black. Every time I saw him.
Right.
I didn't know him or anything. I met him.
And he had a really good sense of humor and all that. But towards the end of his existence, he's very tall. He wasn't feeling well. He got bitchier and bitchier.
When I met him, when I shook his hand, he had no soul, or it was evil. I went cold when I touched him. It was creepy.
It was just one of the moods.
It was very. It was not in a bad way, not in a malicious way.
I know.
He was just a dark person.
It was just the mood he was in, Adam.
Okay.
Right.
Well, we miss him. Even though I was looking back at his discography, that stuff kind of sucks that he was involved with. No, not the Modern Lovers, but his version of those Modern Lovers songs is not as good.
I know he did a whole album, and
but the
I'm
John
gonna
Cale
miss him
version
too.
is good of them.
Yeah.
Not the Kim Fowley one's whack. It's Government Center. And anyway, it says here, this isn't even a question. It just says 3 words. Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah. Rodney Bingenheimer and Poor Man were there. They thought at first I was Anna Nicole Smith in 1989, I extraed in the Doors movie. That's how I met Poor Man, when he was at Request Video, and the Hollywood thought I was Anna Nicole Smith, and I said, oh, no, I'm not from Texas. I was seeing a boyfriend of mine that was in his 80s at the time that looked exactly like...
J. Howard Marshall?
Yeah, exactly like him. And I was driving his Cadillac, and he gave me his Cadillac. And so... I never got overweight like Anna Nicole Smith. And so they thought I was her for a few months. And then they straightened it out, And
how did they straighten it out? What did they do to prove that? How did you prove that?
Oh, it was easy. They just, they looked at photos of me, and her ass was 8 times bigger, and they knew that wasn't me. And I was in a B movie, one of these B movies, Jewel of Monte Cristo, and when I did it, I had a hillbilly accent, so they put those 2 things together, and then she did a poster of Guess jeans, I think, and
Was she
straighten that
famous
out.
before she married him?
No.
She wasn't. She was
No,
famous.
she got popular when she did that Guess Jeans billboard. And I met her in 86 at Spago's. And by the time, 2 years before she died, she did some talk show and she was very fat. And when she did the talk show, she said she was taking a new pill called Trim Spa. I thought she
Trim
would
Spa,
die. Yeah,
baby.
I think that's what it was. And I thought she would die from it because she was taking these other heavy drugs I met her on that her manager was telling me about. And she
Howard
did.
K. Stern.
Pardon me?
Howard K. Stern.
No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. I can't remember who it was. Somebody I met at Spago's.
That's Fago.
Yeah.
And you knew that Trim Spa was gonna.
I
Another
thought
commercial.
I thought it very likely could.
Diet pills make you crazy.
Oh, they do. They do. They are bad for your heart also. Being overweight and taking something like that is bad for your heart. And at the same time, she was taking something else to get stoned off of, some pills. I forgot the name of them. And
Like Vicodin or
that did
something?
it. No, something else.
Something else.
Yeah, something else. And it totally did it. Something much, I don't know, Oxycontin or something like that. I don't know what it was. But it killed her, you know. So it doesn't take much.
That's true, but it's kind of funny that like such like a troubled, like sad person. You know, her case with Tara Marshall went all the way to the Supreme Court.
It
She was
did.
involved with something like that, set precedent for laws for our entire country forever now.
Yep.
And it's just like, just because she was like a gold digger. Do you think there was anything between them? Or was she
Just
a
the
gold digger?
money,
Yeah.
and you know, I mean, like
he only liked her 'cause she
she
was
probably got him off.
Yeah, I mean,
You
she's a
know.
good-looking, healthy kid. Healthy kid.
Exactly.
You are on your television show, Channel 36, the Raw Talent Show. You put bands on, interviewed them in the show. Oh, so you want to talk about Raw Talent? Raw Talent was your public access show years and years ago. I used to watch it all the time.
Well, you know, I went from PA TV to commercial TV, and I would sell with this guy Tony Maroney in Hollywood. We would go on paid TV and we'd sell all these records, you know, and I put bands on there, and he'd give me 40 minutes, 10 minutes to set it up, and 30 minutes to do it. And I would interview bands, and it was insane, just insane. I'd ask them stupid questions like, tell all the brothers and sisters, what is your music all about? You know, I'd ask them all these questions. And I learned about it, and then I went back to the
Why?
Bay
What
Area.
was the genesis? Like, what made you want to go to the public access studio?
Oh,
What about it made you think
because
this is a good idea?
well, in what made me want to do that, the TV shows I've been doing is I originally worked for Bill Graham in San Francisco, and I was a good logistics person. I would like organize bands, and I'd have them put their equipment by the stage, and we'd set them up, you know, and I'd MC them and then announce them, and they'd play, you know. And Bill Graham was really cool, you know, and he'd give me a little money here and there, and I would clean up his venue places in San Francisco, and you know, that's one thing that made me want to do it. You know, plus I wanted to do some commercial things and sell records, so LA was a good place to do it in.
Did you have any particular public access memories?
I
Anything
got
crazy that
a
happened?
lot.
Anything weird?
Oh yeah, a lot of weird things. You know, I interviewed the hate junkies. And the lead singer was 19 years old. He did some good songs in his band. However, he ended up dead on crystal, like angel dust. So that started out good. Then he died. I interviewed all these different bands, like Don Bowles of the Germs. He started me out doing it. He knew it would be a hit for me, so I just had to do it,
It goes back to Don.
Oh, totally. It always goes back to Don.
How'd you meet him?
I met him a long time ago.
Do you remember where though, or what?
I met him on a movie set when I did a Charles Manson movie where I played Sadie Atkins out in Woodland Hills originally.
Is that one of the B movies you were in?
It's one of them, yeah. The Killing of Shorty Shea was a B movie I did where I portrayed Sadie Atkins in it. And Don Bowles was supposed to do something in it. He didn't do it. He just worked on the stage. That was a long time ago.
Who's Shorty Shaw?
Shorty Shea, he was a cowboy that Charles Manson killed, knifed, in the beginning of the Manson family murders.
On the Spawn Ranch?
Yes.
Because then there was that guy in Malibu, too, that they killed.
That was who they killed.
Was that Shorty Shea?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was maybe a year before the other killings, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I read Helter Skelter. What about some other B movies you were in?
I did Jewel Monte Cristo by Robert Linder, and I made Red Lingerie by Fredericks Hollywood Famous. I did Wild Angels. I did these two biker movies where I was the girlfriend of the leader of the bikers. I did all these other films that are embarrassing as hell, and the only reason they hired me was tits and ass and wiggle when I walk and sell the front cover. And when I actually started seeing films of myself, I was embarrassed. I would go home ashamed of myself. I did one called The Pussycat Ranch. I called it the Pussycat Ranch. It just didn't, stuff like that didn't really make it. I never did very many films I liked. I think I was more into music.
So you didn't even like being, that sounds fun.
I like the Jewel Monte Cristo.
Okay.
I liked that. I did 2 movies where I actually filled in for Bridget Bardot because she turned them down, and she didn't want to come here to LA and get exploited. She'd already been here once, and she was more into working in Paris.
They said, hey, let's exploit Karen.
Oh, exactly. Right. And that was a long time ago.
If you had a chance to make America, and you put America in quotes here, a better place to live in, what would you do?
If I had a chance to make America a better place to live in,
Sing it, Karen.
I would have 1 million people take George W. Bush
He hasn't been president for 8
jail.
years.
You're interrupting me, Adam. If I had a chance to make America a better place to live in, I would take George Bush to jail, and I would have him tried for taking billions of dollars from the American people and using it to make the conservative, hypocritical Republican Party stronger, and I would force him to get our money back and give it to people who really need it, because we didn't have to fight half that war in Iraq to begin with. And that's what I would do to make America a better place to live in.
Well, now on to the talent portion of the pageant. No, I'm just kidding. That seemed a little, seemed like you've thought about that.
Oh, exactly, Adam.
So George, you would lock up George Bush.
I would lock up George Bush.
That would make America better. Have you seen his paintings?
They suck.
Yeah, they really suck.
No, I haven't, but I'm sure they suck.
Really suck.
I'm sure they suck. And that's not all I would do to make America a better place to live in, but I would start out there.
What do you think are the top 3 social problems facing America?
And they are...
That would, if they were solved, it would be...
They are terrorism. They are
Terrorism is a social problem, though. It's a national security problem. Oh, it's like social problems.
Right, right. And so those three things are terrorism and the economy and pollution.
You don't like pollution?
No, dude. No, and I would do something about all of those matters. Definitely.
Was pollution that used to be worse back in the 70s and stuff, back in the day? Like, are things getting better? You said we're making progress socially, politically. Are we making progress on the environment?
We're making really good
too?
progress. We are making good progress since we got Obama in the White House. I mean, I accomplished the impossible going on TV and telling the entire world a year in advance we are going to have a black left-wing president for the United States of America. We're doing better politically. However, George Bush left us with being low on money, and President Obama hasn't helped the situation as well as I thought he would. But who knows, maybe things will get better. There are all kinds of solutions, besides robbing a bank. I thought of that.
You thought about robbing a bank?
Yeah, I knew a guy who robbed a bank in the 50s, and he really regretted it. He used to work for Frank Sinatra. His name was Eddie Golab. What's her name?
Why did he regret robbing the bank? Did he get caught?
I never robbed a bank, Adam. I said
So why did he
he regretted robbing a bank because he got caught, and he did time in prison in New York. Yeah.
So you're not going to rob a bank?
No, I guess not.
What if you knew you were going to get away with it?
I wouldn't do it anyway.
Would you drive the getaway car?
I know better. Yeah, I'd drive a getaway car.
But you wouldn't actually
An army tank. I drive an army tank.
But you wouldn't be like Patty Hearst.
I might be, but
in there with the,
Adam, I wouldn't do something like that.
Did you know Patty Hearst? It's the same.
No,
same geographic area.
That's I grew up in the same area she
Yeah,
did.
that's why I asked.
Exactly.
But you didn't know her.
No, I didn't know her.
Do you know any SLA people? Or
No.
you're not into the Black Panthers? Or
Yeah, I've met a few. Because I'm from Oakland.
Sure. Yeah, well,
And there's a lot of them. They didn't turn out to be as rotten as they wanted to be towards whites. They actually are pretty compassionate, actually.
the Black Panthers.
Yeah, the Black Panthers, baby.
Who do you think will be the next president?
Who do I think will be the next president of the United States of America?
Other than yourself.
I think it just might be Chris Christie of New Jersey. It might be Hillary Clinton. But it might not be Hillary Clinton, or maybe it will be Hillary Clinton. The problem with Hillary Clinton becoming the president is that most women make their decisions stupidly by using their emotions. Now, you take me, for example. I used to buy bras that were too small for me when I was a kid, right? Well, I listened to the men when I was at Fredericks of Hollywood. And the men used to tell me, make your decisions with rational behavior. Why do you think most women are too stupid to make $1 million? These are the Jewish men that I pretty much grew up with. And the Jewish women also who might be there would say, listen to Herbie, Karen, and listen to Bernie, Karen. And so I did. I listened to
Herbie.
These intelligent people. These intelligent men taught me make all my decisions with rational behavior, because if you make your decisions with your emotions, you'll screw up.
How do you, what?
Mic went out.
Oh, your mic went out, Karen.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
Is it your pack?
Yeah, see. This is, for anyone who can't hear right now, Karen's microphone went out.
It just went out like a second ago.
Oh, it just went out. Okay.
We're going to fix that, right?
He's got to get more batteries. So, Karen, if you want to share my microphone here. I got mine.
Mic going to be fixable?
Yes, they're getting you a new one right
Okay,
now.
They're getting me a new one. Okay, just hand me that. Okay, so next question.
Karen Centerfold, you're out of your mind to be dating guys in their 20s. How do you handle that?
I handle
This is wait, hold on, Karen. Your microphone pack is coming back. This is How do you date someone? What about
Could you stick
no
it
one
in
here?
there,
He's.
please? Open that up. Put it
Can
in
you
there.
stick it in me, please?
stick it
It's
in you.
probably
Stick it on
probably not
there.
the first time you said that, huh, Karen?
No, it's not the first time. Okay,
All
okay,
right.
so can you hear me now?
You
Okay.
sound perfect.
Repeat the question, Adam.
Karen, why are you dating guys in their 20s?
Because guys in their 20s are much better in bed than guys in their 60s or guys in their 50s or guys in their 40s. Guys who are 26, I can really turn them out. And I have a great time with them. As a matter of fact, it's a lot more work and it's worth it. And they yell at me a lot more, and that's the problem. But I just take aspirin, and it all works out awesome. And I'm seeing somebody right now.
Where
I
do
was
you meet
supposed to,
these young
yeah, I
guys?
was supposed to be with somebody tonight that I'm going to be calling later. That I'm supposed to meet at a club, but. I'm testing him by his behavior, and he knows he's got to really have proper behavior with me because we're going steady. And he's very mature. He's from Massachusetts, very good looking, and he's good at physical things.
Where do you meet these younger guys?
I meet him at, press parties and music parties, the Whiskey a Go-Go.
And do you make the first move?
Hell no. Girls who are very sophisticated don't do that. They let the guy make the move, okay? Because you don't want them to think I'm a whore or something like that, Adam, right? I mean, God knows I'm not a whore. So you see, my manners, I've been brought up to have really exquisite manners, and guys know it. When I walk in a place, they know most people know who I am, in this town anyway, unless they fell off a turnip truck, and so I'm there, and they make the moves.
So a guy will come up and be like, "Oh, hey, can I buy you a drink?"
He didn't say that. He's just, Karen Centerfold.
He already knew who you were.
Karen Centerfold. Like that. He was more like that,
What is your favorite rock band?
The Sex Pistols.
What do you like about them?
Well, I did sort of a show with them in Hollywood on the Jimmy Kimmel show when Jimmy Kimmel was starting out, and this is right after Jimmy Kimmel dumped K-Rock Radio, and he got his own TV show, and Johnny Rotten was with his new band, which I didn't like, and I was just screaming and yelling, "The Sex Pistols! The Sex Pistols! The Sex Pistols!" like that on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and I wanted them to run a clip of the Sex Pistols, and Jimmy Kimmel wouldn't do it, and so Johnny Rotten was saying all these things about me,
Okay, in the UK. Is that what
Right?
you're saying?
No. He was saying
God save the Queen.
that tall blonde woman, blah 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 blah. And so he told me to get in touch with his wife, to get in touch with him, which I didn't do. And Johnny Rotten, I knew he was going to do this. I was talking about the hypocrisy of the Republicans, and Johnny Rotten and me together on Jimmy Kimmel were saying that the Republicans are hypocrites and bastards, and they need to be put in their place. And when Obama got elected, we conquered them. So the Sex Pistols.
Did you ever see the clip of Johnny Rotten on Judge Judy?
Oh, no, but I
He
got to
was-
see that.
He was suing his promoter.
Oh, he was. He was on that probably the year I met him. then, you
This
know.
is in like the mid-90s.
No. I met him years before
That's
that.
when he was on.
Oh, right. You know,
Miss-
I met him in
Miss
San
Judy.
Francisco, you know.
When the Sex Pistols
When he
played
did,
their last show?
when he did when he did his biggest show there. You know, I don't know what he did here, but I was there when he did his biggest show there. So I like the Sex Pistols, and I like Don Bowles and Shane West of the Germs. You know, Shane West, who replaced Darby Crash, and Pat Smear and Lorna of the Germs. And I like my band, Vitamin X. Do that band with Heavy Thunder. We're going to make a comeback. I was good in Vitamin X as the lead singer in 2003, and there were all kinds of problems, and my drummer, Glenn Lloyd, died. A good friend of mine, he OD'd, and so I'm going to do Vitamin X again, and we're going to do a documentary on Deathy Hun of Deathbred. That's a band that Don Bowles was in, where Don is on drums and Heavy is on bass, and Deathy Hun, his real name was Ian Armstead, is the lead singer of Deathbred, and he's on lead guitar. So Heavy and me are going to do a documentary on him pretty soon. So those are the main bands I like.
What was up with that guy, Thor?
Thor is a biker.
And
He's a rough and tough
He
biker,
was
and if you
rough.
cross him, he'll pick you up and break your neck. So don't cross him, and don't say anything stupid around
His
when I
limo was
invite you to
cool.
one of those studio parties. You know, the studio called Vicious Reasoning, where those bikers hang out. You don't want to say anything dumb, you know.